Parasyte. The Grey Episode 5 jumps back in time and explores more of Kang-woo's history. His little sister, Jin-hee, looks up to Kang-woo and believes he's in Seoul helping her out. She rings Ki-seok for an update, but he hasn't heard from her brother. When she heads home, she finds the pastor and Kyung-hee outside. Jin-hee is adamant that she's going to get help for her big sister. This doesn't fly with her sibling, though, and her insistence ultimately ends up getting her killed. The last thing Jin-hee manages to do before she's killed is ring Kang-woo. Back in the present, Kang-woo rings Ki-seok and learns that he's hightailed it away to Jinyang. However, he agrees to give over his address and the passcode for him to come to and hide out. As for Soo-in, she's blinded by grief for the one person in her life that always looked out for her. With the Chul-min she knew dead, and the new one a parasite, she composes herself and heads out with Kang-woo. Meanwhile, the task force are twitchy after the botched operation on the highway. With no hunting dog to guide them to the parasites, they want to call off the big music festival and memorial about to take place for the mayor. The authorities certainly don't want to cancel anything, given how massive this is for him. After all, it could be the last time he runs, and politics for these people always comes first. Won-seok speaks to Chul-min after the meeting, and he confirms that Soo-in is a mutant. This is how she managed to avoid detection on the sensors. Chul-min knows that she's super strong and decides Soo-in needs to be taken out. Kyung-hee rings and the pair discuss this operation, but Chul-min believes he can deal with this himself. At Ki-seok's, Soo-in decides she's not going to flee. She's going to fight back, and now, as they turn on the TV, news spreads of the parasites. Kang-woo is taken aback as the authorities decide to actually make this public. Jun-kyung, meanwhile, finds the church the parasites are hiding out at. She has pictures snapped of the exterior and organizes for the place to be attacked and everyone inside killed. After arranging this, Soo-in rings that night and warns that Chul-min and Won-seok are both parasites. Jun-kyung points out that they've done full body scans to get clearance and they're both fine. But hang on a second. Didn't Jun-kyung capture Soo-in and do full tests to reveal she wasn't a parasite? And we learned 2 episodes ago that these scans are inconclusive? Anyway, Jun-kyung wants to meet, so Soo-in gives her an address and hangs up. As they gear up for this, Jang-woo sees the final message that Jin-hee was about to send, with "Don't come home" written out but never sent, given she was killed. Kang-woo realizes what a fool he's been and decides he's going to fight after all. Soo-in shows up on the opposite rooftop to speak to Jun-kyung that night. Soo-in explains the symbiotic relationship between her and Heidi, and also what went down with Chul-min. Jun-kyung decides she wants Soo-in to come on board with them for the raid, which appears to be one big setup to kill the soldiers. But Soo-in decides to flee, especially when more guards show on the roof holding a helmet, wanting her to be their hunting dog. With Heidi in control, Soo-in jumps off the roof and hops into a car driven by Kang-woo, and they race off. On the road, Heidi explains that she's taken way too much control of Soo-in lately, and she's going to be dormant for the next 3 hours. No matter what happens, they cannot get entangled in any more risky situations. Kyung-hee shows up to see Ki-seok, on the trail of his brother and Soo-in. Unfortunately, things take a bad turn when he rings Kang-woo, telling him to come home. Kyung-hee takes the phone and demands they turn around, otherwise Ki-seok will be decapitated in 15 minutes' time. The pair do just that, and Ki-seok ends up sacrificing himself to protect Kang-woo and Soo-in, who then hurriedly leave and disappear. So after all of that, Ki-seok dies anyway. Meanwhile, the raid goes ahead, but Jun-kyung certainly has her suspicions about Chul-min. She does cut some of Won-seok's hair in the elevator, but when it doesn't disintegrate, given he's a human as we know, she suspects this may not be the case. With the team moving in for the strike, Kang-woo and Soo-in ring one more time and warn that this is a trap and for her to stand down. Jun-kyung shrugs off the concerns and refuses, unaware she cut the hair from the wrong person. Chul-min is part of the task force, and they move in, killing all the parasites in the building. Chul-min actually kills his own parasitic brothers with a shotgun to the chest, while Kyung-hee manages to escape on a bus. She watches Chul-min in shock and realizes she's feeling betrayal. So what's the end goal here? Well, Soo-in and Kang-woo suss out that the parasite inside Chul-min has an ulterior motive. It intends to take control of someone higher up the chain of command. And more specifically, the Namcheon mayor who's showing up. If you're watching this channel for the first time, hit the subscribe button and watch other episodes. Until then, it's me, Mitsubishi, signing off.